If you are always kind, helpful, and respectful, and people still dislike you for absolutely no reason, it's easy to start wondering what you did wrong. But listen closely, because their reaction has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. The same way a mirror shows what someone doesn't want to see, your life and your presence show them a reality they aren't ready to face. So one reason people will hate you is because you are the mirror. Do you remember the last time you looked into a magnifying mirror? It's uncomfortable, isn't it? It doesn't let you hide. It shows every pore, every blemish, and every imperfection you would rather ignore. If you've done nothing wrong to others and they still hate you, it's because your habits, discipline, and presence have become that same magnifying mirror. That's why people project onto you, because it's faster than confronting uncomfortable truths about themselves. When they feel insecure or threatened, it clashes with their self-image. So instead of processing that internally, they redirect the discomfort onto the person who triggers it. So you become the dump for all the feelings they refuse to face. When they look at you, they don't see you for who you truly are, the kind, disciplined, growing person you've become. They see themselves, their failures, excuses, and insecurities. That's why you should never take their criticism personally, because when they attack you, they are attacking their own reflection, not you. If you wake up at 5 a.m., work out, follow a disciplined diet, and build your life, they feel physical discomfort. Your success highlights the gaps in their own choices. Maybe they would love to do the same, but complaining is easier than taking responsibility. Calling you arrogant or showing off is far easier than admitting the truth. I am the reason I'm stuck. Admitting that would force them to take responsibility, and responsibility is terrifying for most people. So remember, when someone insults you, spreads gossip, or criticizes your growth, they're not trying to break you, they're trying to break down the mirror so they can stop seeing themselves. 2. People will hate you if you dare to live your own life. Here's what I've noticed. Most people walk through life like sheep. They move in the same direction, at the same speed, rarely thinking for themselves or choosing their own path. In the herd, they don't have to take risks, make decisions, or face responsibility. They just follow. And as long as they stay in line, it feels safe, predictable, and socially approved, even when it doesn't make sense. When you are someone who stopped living for the approval everyone else clings to and began following your own values, it's like you stepped off the trail and stopped moving with the herd. And that's why you became a black sheep. To the other sheep, you did something unforgivable. You have the courage to leave the herd. That's why if you dare to become someone different, maybe you raised your standards, people will hate you because they start feeling threatened by you. Their perspective is simply too narrow, because they've spent years moving in the single lane. They have no idea what it's like to exist outside the group. Because you think for yourself, you're uncontrollable. And people hate what they cannot control or understand. So when someone breaks the group norms, the herd doesn't cheer for them. They hate it. That's why they might use gossip or criticism to pull you back, to make you conform again. If you are a black sheep, because you walk, talk, and live differently, some will resent it, some will feel threatened, others will project their fears and insecurities onto you. But none of it is truly about you. It's about their fear of leaving the crowd. 3. You break invisible social rules. Most people spend an enormous amount of energy trying to live their lives by the book. Maybe, growing up, they were told to be the nice kid, to get the safe career even if they hated it, to get married because it's time, and to smile even when they are miserable. They've spent decades suppressing who they really are just to follow the script they were given. They've built their entire identity on being obedient and reliable within a system that never actually cared about their happiness. But when you ignore the unwritten rules that everyone else follows, you aren't just being different, you're exposing their lifetime of suffering. When you show up and simply ignore those rules, they don't just see a free person. They feel like fools. They look at you and realize they've been playing a game they didn't have to play. By not playing the game, you make their entire life of trying to be good look like a waste of time. If they see you prioritizing your own life over the traditional path, they won't see it as a personal choice. They will see it as a direct attack on their reality. They were taught that there is only one way to live, and seeing you create your own way makes them feel unsafe. It forces them to realize that they could have been free too, but they were too afraid to try. So they will try to shame you back into the box. They will call you immature, selfish, or lost. They will tell you that you're missing out, or that you're not doing things the right way. But understand, what they are really saying is, please go back to being miserable like us. So people might not hate you for your choices. They might hate you because you show them the life they are too scared to live. 4. People will hate you when you're improving while they're staying the same. People usually have an idea of who you are in their minds. They think they know how you behave, how you'll react, what your habits are, and what your limits are. Their brain does this automatically, using mental shortcuts because it's easier than paying full attention all the time. But the moment you start improving, raising your standards, building new habits, or changing your routines, the old mental picture they have of you shatters. Your growth forces them to do something the human brain hates: a manual system update. Updating long-held beliefs about someone they've known for years is emotionally costly. Most people don't want to put in the work to understand the new you. Why? Because if you can change, it means they could too, and most aren't ready for that level of responsibility. So instead of adjusting to your new identity, they misattribute your growth to something negative. That's why they might be saying, "He thinks he's better than us now," or "He's become so arrogant." This misattribution is a defense mechanism for their ego. By labeling your success as arrogance or showing off, they don't have to face their own excuses, their own lack of effort, or the life they've refused to build. So your change feels like a threat. That's why when you evolve, the people who stay behind don't cheer. They might criticize or shame you back into the old version of yourself, because that version was easier for them to handle. 5. You don't need approval. When you stop seeking validation, you are tearing up the unwritten rules that everyone else is signed to. Most people spend their entire lives chasing a pat on the back or a good job from others. They trade their true selves just to get a little bit of attention, and they expect you to play the same game. But the moment you stop begging for that attention and stop performing for the crowd, you become dangerous to those who love control. Think about it. Imagine someone who has spent their whole life shrinking themselves, hiding their opinions, and faking it just to fit in. When they see you simply being yourself, it triggers a deep, burning rage inside them. Your independence is a direct insult to their sacrifice. They might be thinking, "I spent many years trying to be accepted, and you are happy without asking for anyone's permission." By not needing their approval, you take away their only power over you. You don't perform for them, you don't chase them, and you don't feel the need to explain your life to them. That's why they might try to label you. They will call you cold, arrogant, or egoistic. But the truth is, they cannot handle a person they cannot influence. They are used to people who smile when they nod. When you don't need approval, they don't know how to respond. 6. You prioritize your life over others. When you put your goals and boundaries first, it challenges people's sense of control and importance. Many are used to others revolving around their opinions, needs, or expectations. Your self-prioritization sends a clear, unavoidable message. My time, my energy, my growth, and my choices matter more than your comfort. Some will resent you for this, even calling you selfish. But this reaction is often a reflection of what they've been taught. Most of us grow up hearing that being a good person means being helpful and selfless. When you prioritize yourself, you violate those unspoken rules. You show them that you no longer exist simply to meet their needs. People who expect easy access to your time or energy will feel bitter because your self-care reminds them of how much they've been taking without giving. So they might be mad because you've decided that your own life is more important than their convenience. So those are the reasons why people might dislike you for absolutely no reason. And as you've seen in this video, it's almost never actually about you. If you found value in this video, leave a comment below sharing what resonated with you and subscribe to join the next generation of Healthy Mind CEOs.